What's up guys, Andrew here. There's a ton of tech news you may have missed this week. If you were like me, you had a lot of family stuff going on. I want to catch you up on what the big ticket items have been, but before I do, let me tell you about this month's giveaway. The right gaming keyboard can be the difference between life and death, at least in a video game, which is why this month I'm giving away this excellent wireless Cherry MX Red Thermalake gaming keyboard, and if you want it, you can see how to enter down in the description below. So let's kick things off with talking about those AMD CPUs. As a guy who has both the 7800 X3D in my wife's build and the 7950 X3D in my build, this is a concern. Gamers Nexus did a fantastic deep dive on the specific issues with overclocking due to both motherboard controls and specific things on the design of these CPUs themselves. I will have that video linked down below because it is a fantastic watch for anybody who wants to see really just a deep dive into their process of learning what the problems were for the CPU and, you know, some of the possible solutions moving forward. Now, that doesn't mean you need to be concerned necessarily if you want to buy one of these X3D CPUs. I haven't had any particular issues other than the motherboard's memory controls, no matter what brand I use, have not been able to hit higher stable speeds, which is a combination of the memory controller for AMD and just DDR5 being not the best in general as far as stability goes. But this segues into the big thing that everybody's been talking about, and that's all of the drama around Asus. Again, Gamers Nexus did an incredible deep dive on their issues that they've been having with Asus, specifically their boards and the lack of accountability. They even reached out to the company and got a response back saying that they would love to have an open dialogue. Steve at Gamers Nexus basically said that would be great, but we want to record the whole thing, similar to the Newegg interview they did a little while ago, and they were promptly met with silence. Somebody who's used Asus for a long time, I can tell you that I think people who fanboy over brands is one of the dumbest things you can do. To me, it's always been the product over the person producing that product. Like, I judge each product on its own individual merits, its own individual quality. And yes, it's nice to be able to trust brands to do certain things. And as a guy who has two Asus boards right now for those 3D chips, this again was very concerning. But it's one of those things I haven't had necessarily personal experience with, but I am going to wait to update my BIOS until like 5 or 6 versions from this one to hopefully get past all the current problems they're having. There was more drama on the Asus side with Jayztwocents showing that they were actually guilty of doing something that Newegg had done, where basically he had been sent a sample for a board he wanted to use in a build. It had come with bent pins, and then he had asked for a replacement, getting a new one from China, and this one was also used as well. Suffices to say, I'm not going to be buying anything from Asus for a little while, not until, you know, honestly, there has to be quite a little bit of change. My go-tos, weirdly, have been MSI. They've been getting steadily better. I've not had any issues with any of their boards. And then the other one that I've had issues with the past, and now they're kind of on a redemption road for me, is ASRock. So those are kind of my go-tos going forward, will be MSI or ASRock, because right now I just honestly can't find any compelling reason to give Asus my money when they're not willing to address any of these issues that have been popping up with gigantic reviewers. Like, if you were ever gonna like hide what you were doing, making it right with the people who have the biggest influence to really mess up your company might be what you want to do. But hey, Asus is in the doghouse. We'll see if they're able to get out of it. The other big news is Nvidia is going to be releasing their new 4060 Ti and 4060 cards sometime in the next month. Once I get a definitive date, as somebody who works in the industry, I will let you guys know like closer to when that's going to be. But I can tell you that Nvidia has, you know, they messed up in the past, and I don't know if this is like them making amends, but they are going to be releasing a 16 gigabyte version of the 4060 Ti. This comes hot on the heels of the comparisons that multiple reviewers like Hardware Unboxed did, showing that VRAM is more important than ever to the longevity of your GPU. This doesn't mean that GPUs with less VRAM are obsolete, far from it. But if you are going to be playing anything at a higher resolution, higher settings, and you want to be able to scale, especially with the new Unreal 5.2 engine, which is going to be more VRAM heavy, buying a GPU that has at least 16 is starting to become more the trend. Currently in the sub $400 bracket, that is only Intel, and that really offers kind of the most compelling with their Arc 770 GPU being a 16 gigabyte variant. But they still have a way to go on drivers before I can give them a healthy recommendation to anyone who wants to build a new gaming computer. The other thing you need to know is that Nvidia is going to officially stop manufacturing 3060s and 3060 Ti's. The 3000 series GPUs are still very relevant and a great bargain if you can find one for a good price on the used market, but this is kind of the end of those being made moving forward. So a lot of you guys who have been trying to get these GPUs, just know they will be going out of stock. They will be replaced with 4000 series, which will be $50 to $100 higher per tier. Even with price reductions, because even though Nvidia is taking some massive losses in terms of their GPU market right now, the fact remains that at the end of the day, they're still charging, you know, at least 25% more than previous generations for their GPUs. So there you have it, guys. That was the most interesting stuff I saw this week as far as tech news goes. If you like this video, leave me a thumbs up. Terrible, leave me a thumbs down. Remember to get subscribed, hit the bell icon so you know when these videos drop next. Enter that keyboard giveaway if you haven't already. I'm going to continue to do these every month. And I've got some things in the works coming out as far as video content. But hey, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.